Project 4 is very different from the first 3 projects that you worked on, in the sense you're not going to be developing anything, right? You are only going to be optimizing the web page that is already given to you. So Project 4 is where you actually get to see how, you know, each of the events in your web page, starting from your scripting events to painting them and rendering them onto your website, is going to affect, and how much time it takes to load them, and how it's going to affect your whole efficiency of your web page.
So the experience of your users, you know that feeling when you scroll in a web page and it's just like dragging, or it's kind of slow and lags. It's a really unpleasant experience, and the best websites are those that feel really smooth and are very usable. So this is part of that usability and people's patience. With high-speed internet, man, we just expect things like really quickly. And so optimization helps you make it look like everything is much smoother and faster, just by being really efficient and organized and methodical with the way that we load our page and the contents and render everything in the proper order. Also learn about caching.
For Project 4, it's important to know there are kind of 2 major parts. The first major part of Project 4 is getting a good page speed score. So you have ngrok. So if you run your server on your own computer, you can then use ngrok to tunnel that so that then you'll get an actual URL published on the web that you can plug into PageSpeed Insights. Or you can also use GitHub to make yourself a GitHub IO page and plug that in if you don't want to run a server on your own computer. And there's lots of instructions and good suggestions on PageSpeed Insights to tell you how to optimize your page, and you can also apply a lot of the things you learned about minimizing the critical rendering path in the course. So through a combination of following the suggestions on that page and what you learned in the course, you can increase your page score insights score to above 90 on both your mobile and laptop desktop version of your page. The second part of the project involves really getting into the JavaScript. I mean, so once you've done all the things that you learned about in the course in order to make your page run faster, then sometimes it's actually your JavaScript that slows you down. And so we've created Cam's Pizzeria is a sort of fictitious web page. Someone who wants to sell these outlandish pizzas. They're actually pretty funny if you read the descriptions. And you're supposed to make that page faster. And in that case, it's actually the JavaScript. So take all your great JavaScripting skills that you learned in OOJS and apply them to that pizza web page and see if you can optimize it. You're really looking at the Java code to try to speed it up. We've given you, just try it first yourself, but we've given you a lot of hints too. If you look up the office hours and you find a lot of the extra documentation we've created, that should point you in the right direction. It's a good exercise to just try it yourself first and see what is inefficient about the code. And then if you get stuck, maybe look at more of the documentation we've provided to sort of get you to get you all the way.
I think the next 2 parts of the rubric is just on commons and documentation, which is also a very important part.
Not just within Udacity, but like not just for your projects, but as a career developer.
Yeah.
You communicate with people, and it's so much easier when you add comments.
That's right.
And make your code readable. So I think the next 3 sections are the code quality. So in this project, mostly you're just editing code that's been given to you. So make sure that the parts where you do edit it is readable.
That's right.
The indentations are the same or appropriate indentations as you go through it. Add comments where you make changes, and then the README. We want to know exactly how you want us to work with your project.
That's right.
If you are hosting it on github.io, we want to know the website, and we want to know anything else that you may have done. If you use Grunt and Gulp, let us know that you have used it.
Yeah.
And just list out the optimizations that you made.
That's true. Yeah. Some of the students, actually, it's not very necessary to list out optimizations, but why we stress on it is because the main.js file is so long. It's huge. And we are only going to check specific areas that need optimization, which are the 2 fixes that Cameron has already asked you guys to work on. So yes, definitely, we are going to look through your main.js and see if you've made changes to it. But it would help if we had like a quick bullet in the README saying, hey, this is the part in this file that I worked and changed on. So you can refer to it in main.js file, but you can also like add bullets in your README. That would make things so much easier for us and, make us create your projects faster.
Don't ignore that README part, because I don't think anybody over here likes to send submissions back for that reason.
Yeah. It's very difficult to see that, you've performed optimization. It's great. You've used these build tools. It looks perfect, and we don't want to send it back just because you don't have comments or README. Because, and it's a very important part of your work as a programmer. Any sort of field, any sort of programming language that you use, yes, do not forget to comment or, add a documentation about your work. Yeah.
And if you're not using GitHub.io, we do want to see instructions on how you want us to host your website on the public internet and check it. So
I've had students use LAMP servers as well in their project, so they have had several different methods to actually, host their web pages. But do let us know what you want us to do.